Hello, everyone. Diana Rankin here with your weekly message from Philip, answering the questions that you've sent in. I apologize. I don't have my full voice back. I am feeling better. As you know, for the first time in 4 years, I tested positive for COVID. It's been 11 days now, I think, or 10 days today. Tomorrow will be, no, 11 days today. Tomorrow will be the 12th day. I have much more empathy for anyone who has had this horrible disease. I have had, fortunately, all my vaccinations and boosters. So I guess I had a rather light case of it. Excuse me. But the one thing that seems to have stayed is the congestion. So I have that deep voice now. So thank you for your healing energy and prayers. And the fatigue is still there, but I am healing and I thank you so much. And Sheila says, "Get well, Diana." Sheila, I'm doing my best and I'm trying to behave myself. But I am going to go ahead and get started because I do tend to lose my voice. And we will also get a message from Philip. By the way, next week I will do the predictions for January, and we also look at the whole year of 2024. But back to this book, the Master's Book of Answers. We just open that to any page, and it's an oracle book. We get our message from Philip from this book. So we will get that. But I want to get right into, before I lose my voice again, because it tends to get scratchy and go away. And the brain fog is real. For those of you who have had COVID, you have my deepest empathy and sympathy. And I'm so sorry any of us have to go through this because it's just a weird disease. But I am healing. I am taking it easy. And I'm going to just keep getting better. So, our question this week, it's kind of a long answer, so I want to get started here. And thank you for the person who sent this in. I came from a gentleman. How do we know when to trust instinct, rational reasoning, and emotions to make life decisions? I'm not sure any of us will be surprised by the answer Philip gave us. I don't know that he makes it any easier to find the answer for that, but here's what he has to say. This answer depends on the individual, their brain pathways, and their training. As you can see, there is no answer for all. This said, however, we will give you a few guidelines. In many decisions, a balance is required of the person's instinct, rational reasoning, and emotions. For example, you may decide to buy a new vehicle. Your emotions lead you to like a type of car. Your rational reasoning tells you the car is priced correctly and you have the money. Excuse me. Your instinct, you feel, has led you to the car, so you believe this is the right car for you. Let us say, however, that although the rational reasoning and emotions are aligned, you have a nagging feeling something isn't right. Your instinct is warning you. Instinct is the hardest to trust for many. But as you work to develop and refine your instinct, this changes to the deeper level of intuition, which with continued development becomes psychic powers and then the mystic. This development takes years, even lifetimes. However, we are in an accelerated time, so developing instinct into intuition is easier on Earth at this time. Once instinct is developed, where you trust emotions and rational reasoning fall into place to make a decision easier. So once we learn to develop and trust our intuition, which is developed instinct, then the rational reasoning and emotions to make those decisions are a little bit easier, is what Philip is telling us. This development, we remind you, depends on each individual's brain pathways. You know, it's very interesting when I'm reading for different people, I can see what's going on in their brain. And I've often taken others and said, okay, let's look at someone you love, their brain pathways. And when you look at the brain pathways and then you look at your own, it helps us to understand other people because our brains are different, our chemistries are different. Phillip goes on to say, if a person is predominant left brain, an engineer or mathematician, for example, developing intuition will be more difficult. This is true also of the understanding of emotion. If, however, the person is creative and right brain dominant, the development for intuition is easier. As souls all choose what brain chemistry is needed to be successful in completing life's mission. We trust so far we have not confused you. We do recognize we have not yet answered your question. Let us do that now. Excuse me. I'm going to get a little sip of water because that does help. Excuse me. And yes, I am planning on holding Sacred Circle by Zoom the 29th of this month, which will also be the day we come on and do the predictions for January and 2024. Okay, here we go. Phillip goes on to say, each decision is different. A decision about buying a car is different from buying a child a new toy. Each decision must be weighed on its merits. There are quick decisions that must be made via instinct. For example, your instinct tells you to stay off the freeway, so you take another way home. Later, you learn an accident took place near the entrance ramp at the time you would have been getting onto the freeway. You may have been in the accident, or you may have missed being caught up in the traffic, or you may have missed the accident but been caught up in the traffic. Either way, you allowed your instincts or intuition to override rational thinking. Perhaps you also let instinct override emotions because your emotions were tired and wanted the fastest way home, because you were tired and you wanted the fastest way home, which wouldn't have been if you took the other roads other than the freeway. But thank goodness you took the freeway. There are multiple examples we could cite, but the answer is this. As you come to know yourself, you will come to know your decision-making process. You will come to know when the decision is to be based mainly on rational reasoning or emotions or instinct, intuition, or on a combination and balance of all. We are both human, experiencing life in the third dimension, and spiritual beings experiencing all dimensions. Trust yourself. You are wiser than you know. Trust yourself. You are wiser than you know. You know, Phillip doesn't make it easy for us here, does he? And he doesn't exactly give us black and white answers because there are none. But what he is saying is you are wiser than you recognize. So start trusting yourself. As we get to know ourselves, as we grow deeper within ourselves, we learn to know which we should trust the most: instinct, intuition, reasoning, rational reasoning, or emotions, or a combination of all three. You know, I do have some videos out there. I didn't put the links below, but just go to my YouTube site, which is where you are, and check on the glass of water trick, check on muscle using intuition, muscle tricks, or using muscle. I can't even think of the word right now. Sorry. This brain fog is very real and very unnerving. Anyway, I do have some other videos out there, as do others, that will help you use the deeper self to override the conscious mind and get your answers. So use those. Let's get up. And Miss Piper's sound asleep, isn't she? Let's get our message for the week, shall we? Okay, I'm hearing left. If you heard left, we're in sync. If you heard right, that's a message you need to pay attention to. So on the left, which is page 278, you must leave the known and travel through the unknown to return to the known. You must leave the known and travel through the unknown to return to the known. I think one of the hardest thing is for someone who's a very rational person is to develop that intuition, because intuition is not necessarily rational. It's like if the intuition or instinct says, get off the freeway, you may have some times where you get off the freeway and you have no idea if it was helpful or not. And then the next time you get off the freeway and you find out it was. If you heard right, page 279, this is your message. Does not each artist paint a different picture, even when many look at the same landscape? Does not each artist paint a different picture, even when many look at the same landscape? And the message for all of us: you must leave the known to travel through the unknown to return to the known. You know, for so many of my clients and those of you listening, you're masters in training. And I always say, we think it's going to be easy. We forgot to read the small print. And if you step back and think about the true masters, think about Gandhi, Jesus, Dr. Martin Luther King, the Buddha. If we think about the masters, did they have it easy? So why do we think those of us who are masters in training should have it easy? Hello, Juliet. She's telling everyone, have a wonderful Christmas. So good that Sheila and Juliet could be with us live. Thank you all for your thumbs up. Have a marvelous Christmas, a happy, happy holiday. And if your hearts are sad, please just tune in to the love that's spreading around the world today. We really need that. Thank you for the love you send to us. Thank you for the love that you're sending out to the world. Antoinette says, thank you, Diana. Happy holidays. Thank you, Annette. I love you all. I am so grateful for all of you. And I'm so grateful for the healing that is taking place. And I will continue, I promise, to get well. All right, my friends. See you soon.